Hello everybody, in this video I'm going to talk about mlflow. In the last video we talked about the installation part, the challenges that we have to face, and hopefully how we can use mlflow to tackle those challenges. So today I'm going to talk about parameters and how we can use mlflow to log them. And the first thing I'm going to do is share my screen. So here we are. I prepared this environment in which I already have installed mlflow, and I prepared this script. This is just a normal Python script, and this is going to be a kind of hello world with mlflow. Here I import mlflow. I am importing mlflow, and in this line I am importing random from random to create random parameters. So to log a parameter using mlflow, we can use this method, log parent. This method is going to receive the name of the parent and the value. In this case, random integer. So here I have basically it's a kind of key value pair. That's it. Let's run this code to see what happens. Python mlflow. So by doing this, mlflow is going to create a new folder called mlruns under this directory. So let's see what contains this directory. We have this folder 0. This is basically the ID of our experiment. By default, it's 0. All right, the first experiment. And under this experiment, we have several things. This YAML file, which contains metadata about our running, our experiment. We have experiment ID 0, as I mentioned before, activate and default. We have this folder that is the run ID. So we have here basically artifacts. In this case, since we are not logging artifacts, we don't have any artifact. We are not logging makelets, so we don't have makelets. But we are logging parents, and in this case, it's called parent1, and it's 59, basically a random number. We have also metadata. Here we can see the run ID bb15a, the same ID that we have here in our folder. And we have more metadata about the experiment. We have the name of the experiment, default, the experiment ID, the location of the artifact. So each time that we run mlflow, it is going to create a new run. So for example, let's say that I run again this script and a new run appears. So here we have again we are not logging artifacts, so we don't have artifacts. We are not logging metrics, so we don't have metrics, but we have parents, and in this case it's 4. In the first time it was 59, and this time is 4. So in that way mlflow can keep can track the changes of all the parameters um, along the machine learning workflow. So let's say that we want to see um, the same result, but using an interface, a graphical interface. We can use mlflow UI, and mlflow is going to create a graphical user interface. Here we have here the name of the experiment. In this case is default. The experiment ID, as I mentioned before, it is 0. We have here description. We can add a description. For example, this is an experiment description. Save it. That's it. And we have the runs. Now here we can see we don't have models, but we have a parameter, parent1. The first time it was 59, and the second time it was 4. Let's go to this run, and here we have more information about our run. We have the run ID and the date, the source, the name of the script. We have discretion. We can add discretion of this run again. The parameters, we just have one parameter. And metrics, we don't have metrics, and we don't have artifacts. Let's go back to our coding environment, and let's try a different thing. So you can use the same method log parent to log different parameters. For example, let's go to I prepare git checkout uh, logging parameters 2, and we have this script. In this case, I am using mlflow.logParent to log different parameters: parent 1, parent 2, parent 3, and parent 4. Let's run this code. Let's execute this code to see what happens. It's going to create a new row right here, and we have the parameters here. Let's check out our graphical interface, mlflow UI, and let's go to default, and we have our third row. We have the parent 1, now it's different. We have parent 2, parent 3, and parent 4. So, this is the beauty of mlflow. Let's say that at the beginning of the project, we were, working with just one parameter. Then, with more experiment, we decided that it was useful to add more parameters. So, we were able to add these new parameters using mlflow. Now, there is another way to log parameters, and basically is using a dictionary syntax. Let's go to this branch. I prepare this code, and here we are using a different method. This one is called log parents. Notice that this is different from the last one. Now, in this case, this method is going to receive a dictionary as an input. So or as an argument. So in this dictionary, I'm going to store my parameters. Parent 1, my key, my value, my key, my value. So let's run this code to see what happens. Python and mlflow tracking. Okay, we have a new run. Well, in this case, it's hard to notice because uh, that's the beauty of the graphical interface, the user interface. Mm, Here we can see, let's refresh this page, and we have the last one, the last experiment. Okay, in this case they are different, right? We are logging them under the same name. So that's all for today's video. um, in the next video I'm going to talk about metrics. That's something really important because we use metrics to decide if our model is doing well or is doing really bad. And we can use TensorFlow to log metrics and to compare metrics from different runs. So let's say that, for example, we try something today and we get, let's say, 80% of accuracy with specific parameters. Then let's say that tomorrow or today we try a different experiment and we changed the let's say the parameters, and we get a new accuracy, let's say 90%. Well, we can track those things and we can compare the different runs. So in the next video I'm going to talk about metrics and what are the methods that we can use in mlflow to track metrics. So thank you for listening to me and attending this video. See you.